gospel mission where I stay at, in between beds is about this narrow. If somebody puts a coat up, you can't get in between the beds to change. You can take off your clothes. You're in with 40 men, and maybe you have one bathroom, or maybe you have two toilets, both of them uncovered, for 40 people. To me, that's homeless. That's almost like being in a prison.
I guess I just have to say, I don't understand why you're homeless. What happened?
The reason why I quit psychology today was twofold. Number one is my daughter passed away, and I hated New York City after that. The marriage broke up, and I didn't want to be there anymore. Then I got run over by a truck, and I wasn't able to walk for several months, had problems navigating, had about 6 operations in Indiana, and then I ended up coming to the Mayo Clinic, and insurance wasn't covering what I had to do. I was hit by a truck when I was on foot. Many people do not realize that they're one truck away from disaster, or one maybe accident, or when my daughter died, treatments for leukemia cost $302,000. How many people would be able to afford that? I mean, that's after insurance. But perhaps the one thing that I maybe should add here is that after my daughter died, I was homeless. I had a house to live in, but I was homeless. I mean, the one thing is, when you came home from work, there was no support system. And one thing that I've learned down here is that's the one difference between these men and women and other people. I'm looking for an apartment. I looked up by McAllister and got bitterly disappointed there. I got to the point where I had the money and I had the apartment. I met with the lady that it was a house, five people in a house, and they shared the house, and the other 4 people had to okay me, and the one person wouldn't okay me because I lived down the Mission, and he thought that all the way down the Mission steals stuff, so he didn't take me in on that. So it's hard to come into this world, but it's also hard to leave it, because a lot of people, once you have a bad mark against you, or what they consider a bad mark against you, being poor or having some kind of problems, you don't always able to overcome.
Well, I'd gone to really a lot of places to look. I'd gone to, it must have been about 20 some places. I really had a lot of disappointments, and I was very discouraged, but I got a place on Marshall. It's not a palatial mansion, it's not a bachelor pad. It's just a large room, bathroom, and shared kitchen. Am I paying for the rent? Well, I have a little job at the University of Minnesota, and I all the money I saved up from working at the Tribune for a couple of months. But everything's all very tentative. One real problem with always starting from nothing is, where do you go? What do you do? I mean, if something would happen tomorrow, I wake up, had heart trouble, back in the hospital, or had work, no more work, just go back to the same thing. That's one thing, is that you're always living on the edge, you're always in a dangerous position. And the saddest part about all this is, from what I've seen, is I probably did a lot better than most of the people I've seen. I haven't seen anybody getting up and out of poverty anywhere.
by any system. I've seen these people circle around. I've seen them get an apartment, come back. I've seen people go around and around in a circle. I've seen people get little places and not have much money in those, but I haven't seen anybody escaping.
Sometimes I get down, but sometimes I'm fairly happy too, because of one thing that I never realized until I got down here. What a wonderful life I had. Most people don't realize what a wonderful life they had. In other words, I went to Major League Baseball games, I saw Broadway plays, got to meet some famous people.